Everyone, welcome back. So, today we're just gonna do some startup of coding up the app. Essentially, it's just gonna be like an API endpoint, but it's also gonna be kind of a monolithic thing where the application logic is gonna be right there. Um, I don't think that's gonna be scalable, or at least that's the end goal of this entire series. Um, is to come up with this thing that's production grade, at least in code quality, though obviously not necessarily in scalability. Um, and by code quality, I mean both logic in terms of it's doing what it's supposed to do, and also things like what you call it, that it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's doing it with full end-to-end authentication. We're doing it properly, like utilizing databases and things like that. Um, so just do have it done right. That's the whole goal here, and also obviously not to spend forever doing it. Um, so I already did some boilerplate code, and similar to the math series that I started this channel with, which I still promise I will get back to. We're going to um, this is going to be a very weird series because I intend to try to some extent to go deep into everything. Because like I weirdly enough, the logging, it was like I basically typed into ChatGPT what I wanted and I asked it to create coding exercises. Surprise, surprise. I'm irritated because I forgot to write in the prompt, "Hey, don't actually give me the code." Um, but I like the exercises, and I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I'll just be extra judicious about going out of my way to learn and code by hand and all that, and not use AI agents so much. At least not at this stage, until things become automatic. Then it's like agent time, and that's when it goes into super assist mode and can really help me crunch through things. But until I understand a lot of nitty gritties, if I allow code to fly that I don't understand, it's going to be a problem. So, yeah. Um, and that's just true of any case, right? It may not be the case with this project because this is just honestly for personal edification or fun. That there's just this idea I've had that I was like, I might as well do it. I'm just going to do it as close to perfect quality as possible. Or not perfect quality, but anyways, I'm gonna put myself back in the corner here. By the way, for anyone who's wondering, this over here is Yak. I fucking hate Postman from the core of my heart. It is absolute dog shit. I don't know why. I just find like so many times I'm like, I just have like a get endpoint and I just want to hit it. And that's all I want to do. And I open up Postman. I'm like, what is a collection? What is going on? And it was an interesting story. I might have actually spoken about this on another video earlier. But basically, they use the guy created another open source alternative to Postman, essentially like an API client explorer thingy, um, called Insomnia, which he monetized and was doing well, but he was like kind of burnt out like 5 years in. So he sold it, and then the company he sold it to just slowly and shitified it, basically. And apparently, the last straw was when the company required people to make an account to use Insomnia. That was like the last straw for him, basically, supposedly. That triggered him into making another one, and this one's called Yak. Um, and he was ignoring it for a while because apparently he got a full time job now at like a place he liked and all that. So, anyways, super recommend if you hate Postman like me, and just want like simple things that can scale to complex stuff. It seems like there's a lot of stuff here. I played around with it. I'd highly recommend Yak. So, anyways, we are going to start with a terminal. We're gonna cd projects, Maluma, oops, plus. Okay, UV init. Now, what's interesting about UV init that I didn't know is it has a flag --VCS git, and then obviously the name, which I'm just gonna call app. So if you go into this, you can see a doc-kit is already created. So basically what --VCS git option does is where is it? It's over here somewhere. There you go, --VCS. Initialize a version control system for the project, possible values git. So you don't have to run UV init and then git init. You can just do UV init and you're done. So, sorry, you can just do UV init with this option and you're done. I don't know, I thought that was neat. So, anyways, I'm gonna cd, oops. What is the Python version? I wanted to actually use 3.13 UV Python -v. Yeah, I gotta move this over here so I can see. Okay, UV Python -h. Yeah, okay, I do want a list. Let me see which Pythons I have installed. I'm pretty sure I had 3.13 installed as well. No, I don't actually. Download available. Okay, UV Python dir. Okay, so that shows the UV Python installation. Oh no, never mind. Because it just says 3.12. I'm presuming it's just going to use 3.12.11. What if I do UV run Python -- version? Yeah, okay, there you go. Creating virtual environment at VENV. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add fast API with the extra standard. So that's equivalent to pip install with the brackets on the with the double quotes fast API and then square brackets standard. So I mean that's just how you define extras or options on packages in UV. I'm just gonna go ahead and add that. It's gonna get added. Let's just gonna do a quick ls. Okay, let's just do ls-a. You can see in the PyProject HOML. Let me echo it real quick. Oh wait, let me cat. I think it's cat I'm thinking of. Yeah, there you go. Project my dependency is listed there. If I do, I wish like the Mac like option delete worked in the terminal. I'm sure there's a way to turn it on. No, I don't. I won't do the UV lock right now. That's, oh boy, that's a mess. I mean, yeah, the UV lock is very I'm just gonna clear that real quickly. So we are Gucci over here, I believe. Oh wait, no, I want to add Flake 8, so I'm gonna do that. Wait, I forget how to add a dev dependency. I think it's just dash dash. Add the requirements to the dev dependency group. Yeah, okay. So it's uv dash dash add. Oh, sorry, dash dash dev flake. Oh, I need to say add dash dash dev flake 8. And that should show in the PyProject TOML, yep, as the under the dev dependency group. So Flake 8 essentially just helps helps enforce PEP 8 in the like code editor stuff, but I don't want it whenever I eventually deploy to have to include that in the include Flake 8, the package, in the container, because that just seems unnecessary for the process. And so when you deploy it, use something like UV no dev, or I don't know, there must be some flag for it. I can't tell you right now what that flag would be, but it'd be some flag. So with that, I'm just gonna go ahead and start up VS Code. Maximize that. Now here on VS Code, we have a main.py, and that's about it. Let's see if the terminal. Why is it saying app? Wait, let's see. Import. Okay. It's weird. Normally I have to like activate the environment by myself. I'm just gonna close this stupid agent chat thing. I'm not even using it. I usually don't actually launch code, VS Code from the terminal like that. I usually just open up VS Code. This is just the first time because I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna do the UV init, git init kind of thing. And then I'll just add a couple of dependencies and then I'll launch it, and then I was there, so I just did code dot because I knew it. But apparently it just picks up the environment automatically in the terminal, which is nice, to be honest. I believe, so I had a bunch of extensions installed that I don't really remember, so I just downgraded to just the basic Python extension, which actually installs 4 extensions. So I installed this one, and all these came with it: Pylance, debugger, and environments. And then I installed Flake 8 separately for PEP 8, basically. Apparently Flake 8 is in preview. I did not know that. Oh well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and close that. I'm gonna take a sip of my Coke. My Coca-Cola. So first things first, I'm just gonna add everything. I think I just want to do because I already created a GitHub, which is somewhere. And I'm bringing you down. Jesus Christ, this is irritating. No, not that place. Yeah, this is the one. So I just basically have to add commit branch. You actually don't have to do branch and main. It's just that Git still initializes the main one, the thing as master. And there was that whole thing about slave master, and like it was like a social movement thing, and then GitHub just added this automatically to support the movement of changing the name of Git branch main master to Git branch main, but Git never changed that. I guess you blame Linus Torvalds for that one. Anyways, I could be wrong on this information. This is like old information slash secondhand information, maybe both. But I'm just gonna basically add what's in the directory. Check the git ignore PyCache, PyOC. I don't know what PyOC is. Build dist wheels egginfo nv. Yeah, that's a pretty good thing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and git add dot. And then I'm gonna actually just delete this because that stupid warning is irritating. Because so I went ahead and I'm just gonna show you boys, for any of the true believers from back in the day. This is from my first video actually. Where the fuck is it there? I set my Pylance to strict because I wanted to be very strict about it. I might regret this. I might just switch to standard later on, but for now I'm sticking with it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and git add dot. Git commit dash m initial commit, because I just wanna do this proper. Yeah, it's gonna ask me to do this. Oh, my committer restrictions. Your name and email address were configured automatically based on your username and hostname. Please check that they are accurate. You can suppress this magic. Run the following command and follow the instructions in your editor to edit. Okay, so git config. I'm just gonna hit -- edit. I don't want to do global. I have no idea what's going on here. God damn it. I always don't know how to do this. Yeah, there you go. :QA. And Jesus fucking Christ. God damn it, Vim. Just gonna look up the. Where's the -- edit option? Boy, this is intense. Okay, I'm not going down the rabbit hole of intense Git, because I know Git in and of itself is insane, and I'm just not. I'm doing this by myself. I don't need fancy Git stuff other than the basics of commit. Or maybe I'll set up a dev branch as well. Actually, nah. I think initially right now, I think I'm just gonna do it in main. I don't care really. Because it's not like I got someone to review my PRs or anything. What if I just do git config -h? There you go. open an editor. Does that mean I can... What is the default Mac editor thingy called? TextEdit? Is it TextEdit? Long number of arguments should be 0, so okay, dash edit. You know what? My name is correct. The email is wrong. I just don't care because I think it's gonna ask me to put a swagmaster at visheshmacbookpro.local, which is totally not correct. And Jesus Christ. You know what? I'm gonna try this again. I remember there used to be a way where you would do git config in... Okay, wait. Colon QA. There you go, Jesus. Ow. Oh boy. Oof. I was not expecting to be hit this early. I'm just gonna dash system around again. Git config add username. Okay. What do you mean by follow? It's just a fucking file that does not have my username or email. Okay, let me just do... I think it's email. I will add my email. Okay. Should I do it globally? Yeah, I'm gonna do it globally, and then where I need to do it locally, I'll do it locally, because that just doesn't... It's just my machine. Email serene.lashesh@gmail.com. What the fuck? Oh, I have to do dash dash add, which makes sense. What did it say? It said git commit amend reset author git commit git commit. I'm just gonna do -h first. Because I don't wanna. Commit, amend, reset author, add custom trailers. I'm gonna try this reset author thing. God damn it, I did it again. Jesus. How do I print git author? Can I just do that? Commit -h. There's gotta be a way to see the author. I don't want to override the author or the date or anything. I just want to. I'm just curious. Because what I'm curious about is if the reset author. I'm just gonna do something dumb. I'm just gonna Google how to see the author of a commit. Oh, I could just do git log, couldn't I? You know what? I'm just gonna do that in this terminal because git log so much nicer with the full screen. Oh, okay, so the reset author did do it. It picked up my email and still got the name from this thing. Okay, so that's what I was like major malfunctioning, freaking out about. I'm like, okay, if I just update my email and then I do the reset author, will it infer my username from my host and then pick up the email from the config? That's what I was like freaking out about this entire fucking time. Oh, that's such a dumb rabbit hole. I don't know why. Coding is fun. I don't know what to tell you. All right. So, let's start with our first app endpoint from Fast API. Import Fast API. Oh, no. App equals Fast API. So just option to remove that. I'm going to highlight over this, scroll down. It just goes straight into talking about the parameters it takes, which as you can see is a lot. A lot more than the ones listed here, at least. Are these even the first? These aren't even the first ones. Anyways, so essentially what this returns, it's literally just initializes the application. That's all it is. I think it's a class, right? No, it's a class. And I've just created an instance of that class, and that initializes the app, essentially. So here now I think if you just do UV run fast API, you know what? Nope, I'm not doing that way. In fact, I am going to hide the terminal because that's getting on my nerves. UV run, because I just like the full screen. Fast API, and it's like smoother to just swap the window and just start typing. UV run fast API. Oh, not fat API, fast API dev main.py. There you go. Boom. We are in like Flynn. Now, if we it's control click here. I was like trying to command click it, so it's, what if I option click? Yeah, I don't know what it did. For some reason, if I just command and click like 3 times in a row, it just like opens it. Oh, it's literally, if I just do that slowly enough, it opens it. I don't know. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. But anyways, as you can see, details not found. If you go to the docs, nothing is there. I'm just gonna minimize this and switch back over here. I'm gonna boom, boom. What do I have open over here? Not much. So that's your app. It's running. It's doing pretty much nothing. So easy thing to do here. We'll add a route. I'm gonna make a get on the root. So we're just gonna call it root. Oh, I forgot to and yeah, so as it crashes, it's just doing live reloads over here, so you'll be able to see all of that. Def root, we'll have it return dict stir, which means its return type is going to be a dict of where the key is a string and the value is also a string. I'm just gonna go hello world. Just a super simple thing. Boom. We can just test that out here. Go to root. So if you remember, FastAPI has its own. It has not its own. It has interactive documentation out of the box. So boom, we got hello world. What's up? So it's pretty nothing burger so far. We're gonna start adding some logging here. So we're just gonna add a very basic log. Just gonna call import logging. Just gonna go logging.get logger level app. We're just gonna call it app I think by default it fetches, if no name is specified, return the root logger. You know what? We're just gonna go with the root logger. Why not? We're just gonna get the root logger. We're gonna assign it to a variable called logger, and basically just send some logs. Log dot info. Oops, sorry. Logger dot info. Application started. Sorry. Logger dot info. I don't know. I'm just gonna say hello world here as well. Just gonna capitalize the hello. Ah, screw it. I'm too lazy to do that. Right? So essentially here, boom. I don't know why this like just freaks out and shows up over here. Just gonna do that again. I think whatever I did earlier with the command clicky clicks for production, use fast API run. No way. We'll watch for changes in these directories. Ubicorn is starting, blah, blah, blah. Application startup complete. So essentially, right now, if I go here, I hit the execute button. Why are there no logs? I bet because the application started. Yeah, okay. So the default logger is essentially set to only forward logs of warning or higher. So a log of info was just not getting logged, essentially. And essentially, whenever you log something, you do what is known as a log record, which is going to, it'll be a little bit relevant later on. I don't know if we're going to get to it even in this video, but pretty soon. Definitely not, if not this video, then the next. Yeah. So, to fix that, we get logging.basic config level equals, yeah, so this is something that's important. Do basic configuration for the logging system. This function does nothing if the root logger already has handlers configured unless the keyword argument force is set to true. So basically, handlers are, they handle different streams, essentially. Each can have their own level, their own, aka the level at which they accept logs, their own formatting. You can have them push to something like an email client. If you have like a critical error or something like that, you can have it fire off an email. So that's called the SMTP handler, if I'm correct. So you can have whole kinds of handlers, and you can build your own custom handlers as well. So if the root logger already has handlers configured, unless you use the keyword for argument force true, this function does nothing. So this basically just configures the root logger, or I think you can get it to do it for no, I don't think you can. file name, file mode, format, date format, style, level, stream, blah blah blah. Okay, so we're just gonna start with level equals logging dot. I think they have an enum for it. Yep, they do. We're just gonna use that. And now why is this? Yeah, I'm just gonna switch this to warning because it's deprecated. So now you'll see application is gonna start up any moment now. What's going on? I'm just gonna force it to start up again. Application shutdown complete. Finish server process. Application startup complete. Why is the application started warning not getting logged now? So before we had that, the application started worked fine. Is it because I have to configure the handler specifically? Let me check on ChatGPT. I have a chat for this actually. I got way into logging. Yeah, logger setup tutorial as you're seeing. Before I even do the logging config, so I think what happens essentially is because I'm just getting the root logger and I'm setting the basic config of root logger. No, that doesn't make sense. Application started is showing up if I do it, but if I close it, turn it back on, oh, I don't like what I'm about to do. Whatever. Why doesn't this code print to the terminal? Why doesn't this code log to the terminal application started? I didn't need to enclose it in parentheses. Yeah, so I had a feeling it had something to do with UVcorn's basic logging config. Yeah. Well, wait, this doesn't make sense. I just did this a moment ago. Let's say I did this one. Will it log now? What if I... Nope. And if I do this... That's not... This isn't making sense because this works. Logging.basic info, basic config, app logger. Oh, it does show up here. Warning, app application start. I'm an idiot. I'm blind. Okay, so it does work. Okay. And then should work here as well. Right? Info UV corner, info UV corner, waiting for application, info UV corner for application startup complete. Oh my god. Wow. My tailbone started hurting like crazy out of nowhere. I need to change my position. But if I set it with app, but if I don't have app, yes, if I don't have, oh no, it does. It's right here. Warning, root application started. Okay, cool. So that took me way too long to notice. It's because the formatting is all funky because it's like UVcorn's own logger stuff is like getting in the way a little bit, and I'm also logging, so I think I'm double logging actually. Yeah, I am double logging. See, wait for application startup. Waiting for application startup. I think this is the only one that isn't double logged. So yeah. The more you know. So Jesus Christ. One log. Okay, anyways, I am going to show you that where's the fast APS. I'm gonna just go ahead and try this out. Hit execute, and it is also going to log hello world, as you can see over here, info root hello world. Now many of you watching this might be thinking like, why not just use print statements? And it's kind of what I exactly said. Like with a logging handler, you can move a log anywhere you want, right? And you can have critical logs be sent out to PagerDuty or something like that, and have like essentially high monitoring capacity that is programmatically reinforced. So that's pretty nice, I think. Yeah, but we're gonna move on. Actually, am I gonna do the rest here? Okay, so there's one thing that's kind of cool about logging that I'm just gonna show you right now, and that'd be a bit more cumbersome. to do with the print statement. So we're just gonna do hello world, and then we're gonna raise an exception, and then we're gonna catch it, and we're gonna say logger dot info that was close, right? And I can say exe info true, and what that essentially does is basically, if a log is raised within the context of an exception, aka inside an except block, you can set exe info true, and the exception info will be dumped to the log trace. So right now, application startup complete, warning, root application started. You can see that. We're just gonna hit up the endpoint. Now we can do it from here. I'm just gonna be kind of cool daddy-o, and just hit this right here. I've got the hello world, and if you switch to here, you can see the log with hello world. That was close, and then most recent call last, trace back, and just talks about the exception raised. Boom. So that's kind of neat thing about loggers. One of many neat things of how extensible they are and all that jazz. Basically, logging is awesome, and it's extremely important part of application design. I would say it's more important than writing tests. Not that writing tests aren't important. Writing tests is extremely important. It's something that I will have to do in the process of doing this, because I've never actually written a test before in my life, so I'm actually kind of scared, but we'll see how that goes. I think that's enough for today. Yeah, lots of random rabbit holes I was not actually expecting to go down. I'm like, oh, I gotta sort of get in that whole fiasco with trying to figure out the user email and username thing. But that was fun. It was fun to be able to just know that now about Git. Anyways, other than that, what have we done? We've set up a project with VCS and UV. We added some dependencies, essentially Fast API standard, and Flake8 as a dev dependency, so we know how to do dev dependencies. And we started the app with no endpoints, saw how the logs worked, and we created a simple get endpoint, set it to return hello world. So basically at the root of our application, we would just get the JSON hello world. We implemented some basic logging by first fetching the logger, then showcasing some basic logging, and also realizing in that process that the default for logs at the root are not info, which makes sense. And we set up basic config to set the level for logging info. So yeah, alrighty, that's everything for now. I think tomorrow we'll get deeper into logging. We'll also probably create an env file. We're not going to use it tomorrow, but I'm just going to showcase it to you guys because we're going to need it at some point during this project. .env files are pretty simple, and for logging there's this thing called dict config where you can store a bunch of logging configurations, and just we'll go over that as well. And there's some meaty stuff about there that, like, if you just understand, I think everything that dict config can take. And dict config, by the way, when I say that, is from logging import dict config. Nope, from logging dot config import dict config. There you go. So basically this is a function that takes a dictionary and just sets up all of the logging for you. And it can be much deeper in one shot compared to like just adding each separate thing. And honestly, you could do probably a lot of it with basic config and things like that. But the thing that's nice about dict config is you can have your logging config be outside of the code, or even if it's in the code, it's like a list somewhere and it's just in one place, and anyone who wants to change it can just go change it there, or you can just have a separate file, however you want to do it. So we're gonna get into that next time. I think for now, we're gonna sign off. I'll commit this. I'll commit this, and actually I'll push it to the main branch. Let's call that the end of the video. Git commit message added root endpoint and some basic logging. Git commit -n-a. Okay. I forget what my thingy is. It's over here. Yeah, okay, I'll do the main thing as well. Git branch -m main. So essentially what git branch -m does is, we'll just pull that up. Also, I'm just gonna quit out of this server right now. I'm just gonna do it here. -h. So -M is over here. Move/rename a branch, even if target exists. So essentially, if the branch name already exists, it works. So it's kind of idempotent that way. So if you had already set your branch to be main, and you just did this again, that it's just not going to complain about it, essentially, in that way. I'm going to add our origin. I created an organization because I'm maybe slightly delusional. So we're just going to go ahead and do this. We already did get branch and main, right? Yeah, I did. I'm going to do... I just want that. And get push-u origin main. This is going to complain about not having an access token. I'm like certain about it. Say what now? Oh wait. Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if that happened. This repo is private, if I'm correct. Yeah, it's private. Maybe I have an access token already configured somewhere? Actually, that makes sense. I probably do have a personal access token already configured somewhere. That's like almost 100% a guarantee. Actually, let me check my passwords. I'm gonna say API. Yeah, I have my API key as well. Here. Token. No, that's my Hugging Face access token. I don't know. I guess I must have added a personal access token to my personal machine. Because I thought I hadn't done this one yet. But I guess I had. Well, that's the end of the video. This is a really slow, filled with boilerplate start, but we're gonna take it slow, but we're gonna go and understand each piece of it, I think, as we go. I think that's the goal, and if it might take a little while, I hope it doesn't take me too long. I'm aiming to do this 24/7 every day. Let's see how it goes. All right. See you guys. Have a great one.